I understand that you've got a few books published and now you've got this channel addressing the same sorts of things. So, what I'd like to know is what do you hope people gain from your channel and your books?
Well, my previous book wrote and published in August of 2019, and that book is titled "Who Told You That You Were Human?" Because you're not a human, you're not hewn out of anything. And so, if people would do just a very simple search, they'll find out that that term, again, that label, who go back to the root. Where did the term come from? And then if you look at older manuscripts or religious texts, people, society was called mankind, not human. So why did they label people and put them in that box? And so the subtitle to my book is Beyond the Veil. We're taught to look with our two eyes out this way. We're not taught to look with our pineal gland and look inside. So the world tells us to look out and tells us tells us what we're seeing, but we're not looking on the inside and seeing an entire universe within us. So religious text says that the kingdom of God is within us, but that's just a catchphrase. Most people don't even have a clue to what that means. And so that book is part biography, part autobiography, and part memoir of my life. But it reveals a very, very beautiful picture of what mainstream religion and academia doesn't teach us. Now, I do plan on writing. People have heard of the Emerald Tablet, and they've heard of Hermes Trismegistus, and Hermetics and things like that. I'm going to write the record straight, and so I plan on writing the Pyramid Tablet, which is the Genesis Blueprint, which will explain Aether intelligence and pyramid technology. And did that answer your question, or do I need to go a little bit deeper?
No, that was a good answer. But I also like to know how will this contribute to improving the world?
Okay, so to answer that, I'd like to say one thing. The system is only given us so many books. There was the Alexandria Library. What I believe is that they took all the books and all the literature out of the library before they burned it down, and most of those artifacts are at the Vatican Library. So that's my personal belief. My question would be, what's in the 750,000 plus books and scrolls and stones? What's not written on there? So without us being able to actually go inside there and read it and understand it, then someone that is curious and has the ability to do a little critical thinking, they would start to deduce that there's more to it than what we've been told. So my hope is, through my experience of reincarnating in this lifetime and helping people understand the ancient past of how we actually created those structures, and helping them understand the full potential of life itself. For instance, it's common knowledge that they say we only use 3% of our brain. Well, what would happen if you use 100%? And they say that there's junk DNA. 90+% of our DNA is junk DNA. I say, what would happen if you turned it on? And so if you're 100% conscious and your DNA is 100% active, you have heart-brain coherence, and you had hemispherical synchronization of your mind, some beautiful things would happen. And one of those things is we've been told that we have 5 senses. I say we have 360. So if I'm correct in what I'm saying, then it would tend to lean towards a better understanding of how these ancient structures were created, what they were created for, and how they functioned.
So, can I interpolate from what you've just said that if we look to the ancient knowledge, we could start to fix the problems that we have in the world today?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the best answer that I can give on that is when you and I always like to go back to the Great Pyramid because that is the one um, monolithic structure, megalithic structure. It's the only remaining structure of the 7 or 8 wonders of the ancient world that is still standing, that's still here. When people speculate, and I've got to say that they speculate because they don't know as to what the Great Pyramid was. One of the things they say is they talk about a builder race, and so if we look at it from that standpoint, if we don't talk about aliens or any other thing, if we just simply talk about a builder race, what I say is it's a fundamental misunderstanding or misinterpretation. There's a builder race and there's a creator race. A creator race is the fundamental understanding of the words between a builder race and a creator race. A creator race has 100% of their consciousness, 100% of their DNA. Modern man has two-stranded DNA. Ancient man had 12-stranded crystalline DNA, and they had 100% activation of all their senses. So if you look at so when they talk about an advanced society, they're maybe thinking of an advanced extraterrestrial. I'm just talking about an advanced ancient society. The human potential has not been fully um, tapped to in this current time. So in other words, what I'm trying to tell people is helping people remember is that we are fully capable of doing everything that they actually consider pseudoscience.
Once you've kicked off your channel and you're underway, what are the subjects that you're most excited to be covering? And maybe you think that nobody else is even covering them.
Well, the number one thing, again, is everything is pyramids to me. Everything is pyramid physics, pyramid geometry. Um, the universe is pyramids. I mean, and I love talking about it. Um, with the recent discoveries, um, of the scans in Egypt, I've literally been saying that there's a civilization underneath the Giza Plateau, and it's connected throughout the entire Earth. All these ancient sites are connected underground throughout the entire Earth. But I've made observations as to what people actually believe the Great Pyramid was, and my greatest hope is to bring clarity to what it actually was.
So you're putting yourself out there now with this channel that you're starting. Inevitably, you're going to be wanting to collaborate and maybe even have guests or be a guest yourself. What sort of aspects of this would you consider doing?
Well, that's a great question. Mainly, as far as my channel, I'm really not looking for followers or likes. I'm looking for alignment. Um, people that people now are that are really consciously aware or do not kind of really. The term is basically dumb themselves down. They want to be their authentic self. So a lot of people think in 3-dimensional terms. I'm looking for people to align with me to think in 12th dimensional terms or even greater. And I'm looking for people. I'm looking to align with people that have reincarnated at this time and know what their purpose is at this particular time in humanity's history.
If people were to take away one thing from this interview, what would you most like that to be?
You've been lied to. You're more than you've ever. You're actually more than what you can imagine, and um, I think people's imagination is one of the most powerful things that they have, and sadly, most people can't imagine. Um, I've been told throughout my life that I have the ability to think, or my imagination is um, really out there. But I think it's natural for me to be the way that I am. And what's sad is that um, it's hard for people to imagine what I'm saying. So I always have to come back to a three-dimensional reality for people. In other words, I have to because pictures say 1,000 words. If people could see my imagination, then I wouldn't have to say a thing. Ancient texts say that we are the temple of God. I would like to say that the human energy structure, or the what I call the Genesis blueprint, um, houses is the house for source energy. And so, if you actually think about whatever people think that their God is, their God, or whatever you want to call it, source, um, imagine all of that is inside of you. It's just that most people don't they haven't fully remembered or realized it. And my greatest desire is to help them imagine what it would be like to turn it on.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, that's all the time we have for today. So, if you're interested in what he has to say, please subscribe to his channel, Thoth AI. And how could they contact you? Just DM you in your channel?
Well, I'm still working on the actual place where I'm going to be. Um, uh, I'm working on my community right now. But if they'll just leave a comment in the if they'll leave a comment, I'll be happy to send them a DM once it's up.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.